Hello, Star Wars and unboxing fans. Welcome to another episode of Darth Tuba's Star Wars Unboxing Show. I'm your host, Darth Tuba. And today, as you can see, we have a mostly Hasbro Pulse order. Well, 1, 2, 3 orders, all from Hasbro Pulse. Although this one doesn't have a Hasbro Pulse box, but it does say Hasbro Pulse on the return address, so that's what I'm assuming. So we're going to get going with that in a moment. But before we do that, I wanted to do a little public service announcement. This was an item that I purchased from an eBay seller. I'm not going to name the seller. I'm not going to name anything about this sale except what I bought. Okay? And that goes like this. The Boba Fett Retro Empire Strikes Back action figure. Now, before I talk about the figure, I want to talk a little more about the packing, okay? If you are a seller of any kind, and I would imagine that many people might consider selling something on eBay or through Amazon, Amazon Prime, whatever. If you sell and ship any items, something you should be aware of. It has become very common for delivery people to put your package or put a package that is coming to be delivered to a house, to sometimes put it in an I don't want to say unsecured, more like less than popular location, okay? Because if you have an opportunity to put something on a front porch, we've all heard stories about people going to the porch and stealing packages off the porch. So if there is a front porch looking very inviting, oftentimes what someone will do is what a postal person will do is go around to the back, put something in the back, which is great. Only one problem: if it rains. If it rains, you are left with a package. If the seller is not careful, it can be a package that gets wet and everything inside of it gets wet. This package was, from a protecting standpoint, it had that little kind of like folded up a little like puffy paper, which is really good, and even included some of these plastic puffy air pockets or whatever, and even some regular paper. There was a lot of great stuff. The packing in this was superb. The only thing I would recommend is when you are shipping, particularly if you're just shipping a carded figure, please consider, or a box, like a playset or a vehicle in a box, please consider wrapping that figure or box in some plastic or a Ziploc, kind of suck the air out of it or get as little air as possible, and then pack it that way, okay? The reason for that is very simple, okay? If it does rain and maybe even downpours and the box gets waterlogged, there's still a good chance that the figure itself will survive. So that's just a very important thing to be aware of, okay? So, but let's get back to talking about the figure. Again, these are the Empire Strikes Back retro figures. I will not be unboxing them other than the box I just threw away. And this figure did actually come in pristine condition. This is the figure I was not able to find on the retail shelves. And there is one more, the Yoda figure. So if anybody knows where I could score one of those, let me know in the comments. The second wave of these, the Empire Strikes Back wave, they, like the New Hope wave, they have the distressed look. Some people love it, some people hate it. I really don't have an opinion either way. I understand why they did it. And anything that differentiates it from an original retro figure, I think is a good thing. You can remove the sticker if you want. I don't. I choose to leave it where it is. And the figure itself looks fantastic. It's such a great... What's really cool about getting these figures new is the fact that when you get a figure, when you see these figures, even packaged, sometimes the fluorescent lighting or wherever was displayed, sometimes that ends up being not so good, and the figure starts to fade. So to see a pristine, brand new looking figure in hand like this is a really cool thing. So I really recommend, even if you own these figures loose, I recommend picking up a few of the cards. And what's nice is that I don't think they're going to do all of them. They're just going to do a select few for maybe, I'm sure they'll probably consider Return of the Jedi as well. And I think that's good. I don't think they have to go back and re-release all of them. I do wish Hasbro, if you're listening or if you know somebody who's listening, please consider, kind of like what you did with your Grand Moff Tarkin in the style of the original, please consider making additional characters that were never made. I can't believe this hasn't already happened. Think about this. The reaction figures that have come out, which if you haven't seen those, those are the figures of movies and, both 70s and 80s movies and 90s movies that never got figures, okay? But in the 3 3/4 inch limited articulation style, it is so cool to see figures like that. My daughter's a big Back to the Future fan, so I bought her a Doc Brown and Marty McFly action figure. I myself have a Rocketeer action figure, hanging up in there. They have Star Trek figures. They have Nightmare on Elm Street. They have Pulp Fiction. Pulp Fiction. Who knew that Pulp Fiction would get an action figure? And like I said in a previous episode, your figures can have, imaginary battles with other franchises. It'd be epic. So consider doing that, Hasbro. Please, I'm begging you. All right. So that'll find its way in the right place. So why don't we get right to it? Start opening these up. By the way, I am a collector like any of you. I do not receive any figures for preview yet. Hint, hint, again, Hasbro, if you're watching. All right, so very cool. Now, speaking of Empire Strikes Back, we now are starting to get these figures to come in. These are the Empire Strikes Back Black Series 6-inch figures that are in the carded style. Obviously, you can see, and it's nice that I got this one so you can see a comparison. Obviously, the size is much bigger. You'll also see in comparison that the figure itself, because in order for this to be ratioed the right way, this card would have to be like this big. Okay, and that's kind of that's a waste of paper. So I'm glad they didn't do that. This is Luke Skywalker Snowspeeder. A lot of these are re-releases. However, some of them, a lot of them, if it's a face character, they have done the new 3D sculpting on the face, so it looks really, really cool. Again, these are not figures I plan to take out of the package if I've already taken them out of the package. I have to kind of go through my collection and make sure that I haven't. If I haven't taken them out yet, I might consider opening up one or two of these, but for the moment, we'll leave these kind of where they are. All right, number 2. Ooh, I don't know. This is a little heavier, so it's either multiple figures or one big figure. Let's see what we got. And it is multiple figures. Yeah. All right. Now, this is the one I will be unboxing because of such a cool thing that they have done. This is the Rebel Soldier on Hoth figure. And the thing about this is that it actually comes with, I believe this is the figure. I should make sure of this. But I think it has a backpack. And in the backpack, you can actually get a different face and a different scarf. Now, I hope this is right. So I'm going to open up one. And that's interesting. I have less guilt about opening these up because they're both damaged. The cards are damaged. So that's a strike against Hasbro because ordering these right from the source, you would imagine that they should have given it me and packed back. The packing wasn't bad. They were set like this, upside down, like this, But they didn't put anything in between, so there was this bending thing like that. Right? I will get to these in a moment. I have one more box, and it feels like this is a light one again, so that's probably one figure. And if it's not, unless it's a smaller action figure, which it might be. Nope. Oh, wait. I can't tell. I can't tell. No, this is a... Well, I guess it's not technically not a 3 3/4 inch and technically not a 6-inch. It is an R2-D2, which is like kind of a 4 1/2 inch or something. All right, and this of course is painted to look like the Dagobah kind of muddied up figure. Okay, I may do an unboxing with this one because even though I have an R2 figure, this is kind of a cool one, and I might want to consider it. And if they do the whole thing with like Luke on his handstand with Yoda in the backpack, I might want to kind of make my own little mini diorama. But for today, we will keep this in the box. So, let's see. Which one of these is more damaged? Looks like this one has a bend in it, so I'm going to do this one. Oh, the collectors are like crying out in terror. Why are you unboxing the figure? That doesn't make sense. You're ruining the value. I don't think collectors talk like that. I don't know why I said that, but I don't believe in ruining the value. I quote Steve Sansweet. As I've said in previous episodes, Steve Sansweet said, an item is only worth what you're willing to pay for, what any collector is willing to pay for. So, if a collector's willing to pay hundreds of dollars for something, so be it. If they're willing to pay tens of dollars for something, that's fine too. Okay, now, it looks like we have the little mask that you can do, but if I am not mistaken, I'm under the impression here that there should be... maybe not. Am I missing it? I thought that... Are we in a... I was under the impression that there was actually... Oh, let me look here. Oh, wait. Okay. You can actually... Yep. His face comes off. It's kind of freaky. His face comes off like it's a robot. So that means that the other face is somewhere. Where is the other face? All right. Looking for the other face. Hang on. Stand by. I am trying. Huh. All right. Please stand by. Found it. I found it. It's in the back of the backpack. And you actually flip that, and there's another face sitting right there. So, I'm going to switch out this face just to make sure it fits. It's a bit of a process, I won't lie. But, you know, then again, I do understand the process. I understand why it is the way it is. And the thing is that you can do this, like, there's a loose set of goggles, so you can set up the goggles, like, on top of his head, which I'm going to do. I'm going to try to do. Come on there, dude. All right, there's his goggles. You can do the mask. Actually, before I do the goggles, I have to... Come on, man. All right, so I think you have to... Huh. How do you get the mask? Oh. I think you have to do it like that. That's weird. Okay. Bandana. Okay. Bandana's done. Hat's on. I'm going to actually put the goggles upside down. I'll just be adding on top of my, or next to my face here, I'll be adding stuff about showing like the multiple ways you can do this. Now, that means that you have, so he has his, and then I gotta take his other head and kind of place it in here and close it up. Okay, and then back on. Okay, gets one gun to go in the holster, and the other gun. All right, so this is okay. So this is one version of the soldier. Okay, now it's got the beard, the bearded face. He's got the little, excuse me. He's got the little bandana over around his chin, neck, almost as if he's wearing a mask to protect himself from COVID-19. This was made 18 months ago. I wonder if they knew something. And then he has the goggles over, on the rim of his hat. Now this one, just out of the gate, he's a separate soldier because he has a different face. He does not have the scarf, and he has the glasses over top. That's 2. Okay? You can also include him with the glasses on. That's 3. You can also include him with the glasses on and the bandana. That's 4. You can have him with the glasses on and no bandana. Oh, no, I already said that. And then you can have him with the beard and all those accessories. So there's roughly 8 options, okay? But then you also have the different guns. So if you include, like, holding one of the guns versus holding the big rifle, you are really setting yourself up for a pretty cool set of armies. So you could buy as many as 8 of these. And I'll tell you right now, if they make a lot of them and I can find them on discount, I will buy more than 2. But for the moment, I'm going to stick with 2. I'll unbox this one off camera so you can see them all together. With the different. I'll get them separate. I'll get the 2 of them separated so you'll see them already here. So that'll do it for this week's episode of Darth Tuba Stars Unboxing Show. Happy to see that the Hasbro announcements that have come over recent months and so on are now starting to arrive, and that's really awesome. And I'm looking forward to the next releases and the next waves. And thank you so much for watching. Welcome to our new subscribers. Like, subscribe, share if you haven't already done so. Spread the word about the channel. Leave comments, folks, okay? I'd love to talk with more people about their favorite collecting items, the things that they love to collect, things they don't like to collect. I recognize that there's a lot of people that love Hasbro, that don't love Hasbro. You can leave comments either way. Just keep things civil, okay? Me, I'm kind of a live and let live. I love that we have Star Wars still in the stores, albeit I miss the days of, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I miss the days of Force Awakens and Episode 1 when we got like whole rows and rows and rows of stuff. Of course, also miss the days of Toys R Us when that was the store you usually saw, rows and rows and rows of stuff. But we still have it now, this down to a little tiny aisle, but we still find it. You can still find things online, and so there's no shortage of it. But leave your comments, leave your thoughts, and I'd love to engage with you guys on that, and you can engage with each other as well. Thank you so much for watching. Check me out on Instagram and Twitter. Darth Tuba's Unboxing page on Facebook. Until next time, may the Force be with you.